Welcome to Business Notes. I'm your host, Diane Bogino. Our guest today is Mary Kutheis. Mary is a certified executive coach working with business owners who are honing specific skills as part of evolution from owner to leader. Her first book, Making Minutes Matter, Your Guide to Being Content with How You Spend Your Time, was published in 2019. Mary is one of the fortunate people who has found what she loves to do and has built a successful business doing it. One. Mary, welcome to Business Notes and thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Diane.
It's a pleasure to get to do this with you because we've been kind of chatting for a while together, and I've been wanting to ask you, what do you mean when you talk about evolution from owner to leader? What exactly does that mean?
What that is I primarily work with business owners because I am a business owner and I have an understanding of what they go through. But one of the things I've seen over the last couple of decades is that business owners have terrific business owner skills. If their business is successful, they are great business owners. But leadership skills are something very different. And so it's another set of skills that they need to have for their toolbox. So many people have some terrific leadership skills and want to hone them. And others are kind of starting from scratch and thinking, I wanted to run this business. And now I realize I'm leading all these people as the business grows. So it's the evolution from solely being an owner to being an owner and a leader.
See, there's a big difference there, yeah. What inspired you to write a book and that book in particular? And tell us the title of it.
The book is called Making Minutes Matter, Your Guide to Being Content with How You Spend Your Time. And I was inspired to write the book because I knew if I didn't, that I would regret it. I knew I had it in me, and it was just a little bit of fear about, well, what if I don't have anything to say? And what if everybody says it's a dumb book and all those kind of things that people worry about. But this book was really important to me because over the years, I mean, I've been doing this business for 21 years and I was in corporate for 17 before that. And one of the things that I've noticed over time is how challenged people are with how they are spending their time. And a good example is when people are really busy, when they're at work and spending time working, they're thinking, oh gosh, I'm neglecting my family. Or when they're with their family on the weekend, they're thinking, I really should have brought home some work to do because I'm going to be so far behind. And it's a lose-lose situation. So I wanted to give people a framework to determine how they should be spending their time so that they feel good about it. So that when they take time to be with their family, for instance, a sad situation, but very important, is my mom was in hospice. And when that was going on, my business basically tanked. I spent time with her. And the reason was because I knew I could bring my business back. I could always make more money, but I couldn't bring her back. And there wasn't a moment that I was by her bedside that I said, gee, I should be working. And what we need to do is be able to work from a foundation where the decisions that we make are so rooted in our values and what matters to us that we're content with how we spend our time at any time.
Wow. Wise words indeed. What is there one thing about leadership, though, that you wish that everyone would embrace?
This is so important. Obviously, we know how important leadership is. The statistics about how many people leave jobs because of their boss, not because of the actual work that they do. What I wish leaders would understand, and what everyone would understand about leadership, is that one has to master self-leadership first. That the skills that we need to have within ourselves to be leaders, once we hone those, then we are much better prepared to lead others and to teach others how to lead others so that it trickles down in an organization. But the self-leadership, that piece is so pivotal, and that comes first.
Right. It's about self-awareness, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, for sure.
And the tools that you use, I believe, help leaders to do that better, correct?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. What do you think leaders need to add to their skill set going forward now?
A lot of talk about this right now, but EQ is so important. The empathy piece, the understanding piece, the being able to see things from other people's perspective, all of those soft skills, which, you know, for a long time it was always like woo woo stuff, whatever. But what we know now is it's absolutely vital. And that the statistic is 90% of the difference between average leaders and superior leaders is their level of emotional intelligence, and empathy, that kind of thing is all part of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, Mary, you mentioned that there's one simple question that's guaranteed to help solve the most challenging business situation. Are you going to tell us what that question is? I hope.
I am. And interesting, it is part of this self-leadership piece. But the question is this, it's called the central question. And it's anytime there is a challenge and you're not quite sure what to do, you think to yourself, what choice can I make and action can I take in this moment to create the greatest net value? And the two things that are really important in that question is create, that we are creating value, and that it's not we're getting value or we're giving value, we're creating value. And the other important word in there is net, the greatest net value. So that means for both people on the side of that decision. And when you think about in any situation, if you pull up just in your mind some recent challenging decision and you think, if I would have asked that question, would I have had more clarity? And in almost every single case, people say, wow, yeah, I think I would have known what I needed to do right then.
Mm, mm. You know, Mary, I know you have a great program, you have great tools, but would you recommend to leaders that they also, in addition to working with someone like you, get into a peer group or a mastermind or group coaching program as well?
I think it can have huge benefits. I do. And certainly the important thing about that is that peer groups and masterminds can work alongside executive coaching. They don't really cancel one another out. It depends on the needs that people have. One of the great things about peer groups and masterminds is gathering people who are in similar situations, may have similar challenges, but may approach them from a different perspective. So you get all of these great business owner minds. In my case, it's business owners, but you get all these business owner minds in a room. And sometimes the creativity and thinking outside the box is so tremendous that solutions are developed just because you have all these minds working on one problem.
Right. So, Mary, what if anything turned out to be a surprising upside in 2020? Anything?
There's quite a few things, and I was so interested in this that I actually have been doing some short little interviews with people about how they survived 2020. And the reason I did it was that early on, what I was finding out was it was stunning to me how many good things came out of 2020 for people. And to a person, everyone who experienced good things also felt a little bit of challenge or guilt that there was also so many troubling things happening at the same time. So what I found is that people are incredibly resilient. They're incredibly creative. They're nimble and able to pivot. Early on too, I suggested to people that I work with people on time management or effectively creating or managing their priorities. And I find that people always say, boy, I would really like to work on this thing, this self-development, professional development, or this business infrastructure thing, if I only had the time. Well, there were many people in that situation whose businesses were going well, but all of a sudden they had a little bit more time. They weren't traveling, they weren't going to networking events, they weren't going to coffees, they weren't commuting to work, and they may have come up with a couple of hours, extra hours a week. And some people put that toward professional development or toward shifting things in their business. And they've come out of it better and stronger because of the actions that they took in 2020. And they feel much more, I feel, and they feel much more prepared should something this crazy, some crazy year like this happen again. People are more prepared.
Yeah, that's a good point. Interesting information. Now, are you going to put those interviews on YouTube or anything?
I'm writing a paper. I'm going to try to make it as succinct as possible, and I'll be obviously sharing it with the people that I interviewed. Everything is blind. And I will be putting it out there on LinkedIn. It'll be on my website. So I'm still conducting the interview, so it's not quite ready yet, but it will be out there. And I think everyone can learn a lot from everyone else and recognize that they are in amongst amazingly resilient, creative, capable people, which is also kind of nice to know. That's the community, the business community that you're in.
Good. So what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, Mary, and also be able to get this paper? I guess they'll be able to download it.
Yes, absolutely. And I'll be promoting that on LinkedIn and all that kind of thing so people can find it. So they can reach me via my website, which is www.mckcoaching.com or mary@mckcoaching.com. They can also reach me through LinkedIn, and I think you're going to share that link. It's a long link that I'm not even, it's got my name in it somewhere. Or give me a call. My phone number is 314-313-4996.
Great. Mary, what you bring about the distinction between being a business owner and being a leader is something that every business owner needs to know. And I'm happy we did this interview today. And thank you so much for your time.
I really enjoyed talking with you, and I appreciate the invitation. Thanks for letting me be here.
You're welcome. Thank you for watching Business Notes. We've been speaking with Mary Kutheis, a certified executive coach working with business owners evolving from owner to leader. I'm your host, Diane Bogino, bringing you business ideas you can bank on.